the age of irresponsibility. Who would have thought that the epitaph on the gravestone of the Brown years would be carved by the man himself? He says he's going to campaign as the candidate of experience. Let him try. Because he's going to find out that we've all had quite enough of the Gordon Brown experience. Now, the reason why our banking system is under such strain, why thousands of people fear for their jobs, why there's been all this talk of rescue deals and bailouts. The reason is this. In Britain, and in America too, we forgot something we should never have forgotten. We forgot that an economy built on debt is not an economy built to last. For a decade, the whole world enjoyed the good times. And nowhere was the boom greater than here in Britain. We borrowed and borrowed as if the party would never end. Banks did, businesses did, families did, and so did this government. And then, like any party that goes on too long, things got out of hand. British households borrowed more than any in Europe. British house prices rose faster than in America. Britain's budget deficit grew larger than any in the developed world. And instead of trying to rein in the boom, Gordon Brown led by example. Think you're borrowing too much? Don't worry, Gordon Brown said. Your government is borrowing even more. Want to hide your bank's debts off your balance sheet? Don't worry, Gordon Brown said. Your government has hidden billions of PFI debts where the public can't find them. Want to spend, 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 and not worry about who's going to pick up the bill? Go ahead, Gordon Brown said, because that is exactly what your government is doing too. So we racked up as a country more than £1 trillion of mortgages and credit card bills and household debts, and the government never stopped to think what would happen if the credit dried up. We built an economy on the engines of finance and housing and government spending, and the government never stopped to think what would happen if those engines stalled. Well, now the credit has dried up. The engines of the economy have stalled. The party is over. And then, as if this was not enough, we've had to watch as apparently rock-solid banks are blown over like trees in the path of a financial hurricane. And people suddenly realize just how fragile our debt-driven economy has become. What we need is a wholly different approach. It is set out in the Comprehensive Plan for Economic Responsibility, which we published yesterday. It is a plan to end Britain's dependency on debt. We will bring fiscal responsibility to our government, and we will bring financial responsibility to our economy. We will make sure that this mess never happens again. But doing that means telling some hard truths. On Bradford and Bingley, we say you can protect people's deposits, you can try to save people's jobs, you can maintain people's confidence, but you don't have to leave the taxpayer exposed to a multi-billion-pound bill for the mistakes of the management and the big money that backed them. For a year, the government knew there was a problem at Bradford and Bingley. For a year, they could have put a solution in place, For a year, they dithered and delayed. And once again, it is the taxpayer in the last resort who is left carrying the can. And I want to say this to the city more generally. There have been terrible failures of regulation. And the people in charge for the last 10 years must bear their full share of responsibility. But in the end, the failures of the banking industry are the failures of the bankers. And perhaps there are some market ideologues who think that the money men can do no wrong. But I tell you right now, I am not one of them. We want the city to succeed. We recognize the importance of the investment you bring, the prosperity that you have created, the thousands of jobs that depend on you. As David Cameron says, we're not going to engage in knee-jerk attacks on financial services. We know that the industry employs people, not only in hedge funds in Mayfair, but bank branches in Mansfield and call centres in Manchester. We admire the drive and the enterprise of so many people in the business world. We won't let the City of London disappear to the City of Geneva or the City of Dubai or even the City of Mumbai. You will get the support of a Conservative government to maintain a strong and responsible banking industry that leads the world. But I do say this too. If you take risks, then you must bear the cost. If you pay yourself sums far beyond what anyone else in any other walk of life does, then be prepared to lose it when you make mistakes. If you pay out big dividends when you should be rebuilding balance sheets, then you will be held to account. We will do what it takes to preserve the stability of the financial system and protect the deposits of ordinary savers. But let me warn you today, I will not increase taxes on the family earning £20,000 to carry on paying the bonuses of the banker earning £2 million.